Welcome to Summer at Cox Campus. We are so happy to have you here for today's Session 1 Babies Off book. I know this is going to be a great day for all of us to learn and read together. And thank you so much for joining us for our Family Summer Series. We are so excited to be with you. I'm Miss Yana, and today we're going to be joined by some really great guests to talk about a really exciting book, Do You Love the Dark? And this book was written by our very special guest, Maya Lawrence. And we're going to do a lot of reading and playing to learn about this great book. And I am so excited to get started. So to start us off, I'm really excited to welcome Miss Jen. Miss Jen, over to you.
Hello? Can anybody see me? It's really dark in here. I can't see you. Huh. I wonder where everybody is. I'm finding some people, but it's so dark. Oh, there it is. It was so dark in there, I couldn't find it. When you're in the dark, do you get scared too? Or do you love the dark? When I'm in the dark, sometimes I get scared because I can't see anything. Although sometimes when I'm in the dark, I love being in the dark because I can go outside and see all the beautiful stars outside. And it makes me so happy. But then sometimes I get scared. Do you get scared of the dark? Or do you love the dark? I wonder. So many people also get scared of the dark. One person in particular thought about what it meant to be scared and if they should be scared or if they could learn to love the dark. Her name is Maya Lawrence, and she wrote a book that's going to help us learn more about the dark and maybe even go from scared to love. So let's all welcome Maya Lawrence to share her amazing book, Love the Dark.
Hello, friends. It is Miss Maya, and thank you for joining us for Babies Off book. It is so good to see you all again. I miss you so much. And today for Babies Off book, we are doing a very special book. It is one that I wrote, and it is called Do You Love the Dark? Do You Love the Dark? Story by Maya Lawrence. Illustrations by R. Gregory Christie, and commissioned by the Alliance Theater. If you would like to play along with us as we go throughout the story, I'll be giving instructions and pauses on how you can join us. But now you might want to gather some things around you to get ready to play, like a blanket, a flashlight, some dried beans or rice, and a cup. Let's get started for Do You Love the Dark? Are you scared of the dark like me? I wish we could all just fall asleep. Let's close our eyes. That's how wishes come true. Let's close our eyes. What do you see? True. Oh no, it's too dark in here too. Let's try something new. How about a nightlight? It's really dark in here. Does anyone have a nightlight? Bring out your flashlights. Oh, too bright. Now it's making shadows that look like monsters. How are we going to sleep tonight? Right, grown-ups, it's time to make some shadow monsters. So pull out your flashlights. You can even use your phone light if you'd like. And turn off the lights until it's really dark. Then we can make shadows. Ah, it's a monster! What kind of shadows can you make? Shh. What's that spooky noise? Hoot! Is that an owl? Well, hello, Mr. Owl. What sound does an owl make? Hoo, 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 hoo. Grown-ups, can you make an owl shadow? Hiss. Is that a snake? A snake! What sound does a snake make? Can I see you wiggle like a snake? Maybe we can use our maraca. Grown-ups, if you would like to make your own maraca at home, find some beans or even some rice and pour it into a cup. Then we can make our own. And feel free to draw your own special snake. This is my snake. Boo! Is that a ghost? Ah! We need to escape. Whoosh! Bang! Splat! Ding! Those are such funny noises. We should get our supplies so that we can make funny noises too. What are some of your favorite noises to make? Grown-ups, if you have any pots or pans, spoons, anything that makes a cool noise. Bang! Splat! What's that creepy critter crawling? Quick, hide under the covers. Oh no, it's too dark in here too. What are we going to do? You can use me. Ah! Who are you? What are you doing here? Who do you think it is? What does it look like? What shape did you see? Can you trace it with your fingers? Let's find out. You only need a little bit of love to face your biggest fears. Shine your heart on the scariest parts, and you'll find a lot of good love hiding in the dark. Heart! What sound does your heart make? Boom, 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 boom. I can't hear you. Boom, 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 boom. But I'm really scared of shadows making monster poses. Can I see your monster pose? Oh, that's so scary. I see why they're scared. But don't you love watching your dreams play like a movie when your eye closes? But I'm really scared of the noises I don't know. But don't you love the sound of your covers crunching as you're tucked in tight like a taco? Love getting tucked in tight at night. Let's grab our blankets. And can you wrap yourself really tight? Give yourself a big hug. What does it feel like? I'm just really scared of the dark. Close your eyes and use your heart. Do you know what happens when all the colors come together in the squishiest, mushiest, most humongous hug? They make the color black. It's the deepest shade of love. When you're facing your biggest fear, shine your heart on the scariest part, and you'll find a lot of good love glowing in the dark. Oh, is that why we call it a good night? Yes, there's so much to love, even if it's out of sight. Good night, monsters dancing in the light. Good night, colors hugging so tight. Good night, songs the owls sing. Hoot, hoot. Good night to all my lovely things. Hoot, hoot. Hoot, hoot. Good night, love. Good night, heart. Good night, light. Good night, dark. Good night, dreams. Good night, me. Do you love the dark like I do? Well, then good night to you too. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night, love. The end. Thank you, everyone, for reading along with me. It was so great playing together and reading together. And now it is time to go to sleep. So I'll see you all next time for our next Babies Off book. And I hope the next time that you're feeling scared, you're not too afraid to listen to your heart. Speaking of hearts, here is mine. Hearts all look very different. What does mine look like? What color is it? It's pink, it's fuzzy, it's really big with lots and lots of love. If you're looking for another activity, we will pull out our crayons or markers or anything that you like to create with. And I'd like for you to draw a big heart. It doesn't have to be this big, but a big heart on a piece of paper. Hearts all look very different, and our hearts are filled with the things that we love, because love makes us kind, and love makes us brave, and love makes us strong. It helps us fall asleep when we can't. So I'd love for you to draw in that heart anything that you love. Maybe it's a person or a food. Maybe it's a song. Whatever it is that you love, draw it in that big heart. And then hang it up somewhere that's really important to you. That'll help you remember. Because the next time that you feel afraid, you can look at your heart and remember all the things that you love instead of the things that you fear. All right, everyone. That's all I've got for you today for Babies Off Book, but it was really great playing with you. And I hope you learn to love the dark as much as I do. See you later. If you loved hearing this story, then you'll love seeing Do You Love the Dark turned into a play for the Theater for the Very Young, January 20th. But if you can't wait that long, feel free to stick around for an uninterrupted reading. Thank you. Are you scared of the dark like me? I wish we could all just fall asleep. Let's close our eyes. That's how wishes come true. Oh no, it's too dark in here too. Let's try something new. How about a nightlight? Whoa, too bright. Now it's making shadows that look like monsters. How are we going to sleep tonight? Shh. What's that spooky noise? Hoot! Is that an owl? Hiss! Is that a snake? Boo! Is that a ghost? Ah! We need to escape! Whoosh! Bang! Splat! Ding! What's that creepy critter crawling? Quick, hide under the covers. Oh no, it's too dark in here too. What are we going to do? You can use me. Ah! Who are you? What are you doing here? You only need a little bit of love to face your biggest fears. Shine your heart on the scariest parts, and you'll find a lot of good love hiding in the dark. But I'm really scared of shadows making monster poses. But don't you love watching your dreams play like a movie when your eye closes? But I'm really scared of the noises I don't know. But don't you love the sound of your covers crunching as you're tucked in tight like a taco? I'm just really scared of the dark. Close your eyes and use your heart. Do you know what happens when all the colors come together in the squishiest, mushiest, most humongous hug? They make the color black. It's the deepest shade of love. When you're facing your biggest fear, shine your heart on the scariest part, and you'll find a lot of good love glowing in the dark. Oh, is that why we call it a good night? Yes, there's so much to love, even if it's out of sight. Good night, monsters dancing in the light. Good night, colors hugging so tight. Good night, songs the owls sing. Hoot, hoot. Good night to all my lovely things. Good night, love. Good night, heart. Good night, light. Good night, dark. Good night, dreams. Good night, me. Do you love the dark like I do? Well, then good night to you too. Good night, good night, good night, love. The end. Good night, friends. Thank you for listening to my book. And I hope the next time that you're feeling scared, you're not too afraid to listen to your heart. Bye-bye.
That was a wonderful book reading. Now I found someone special while I was listening. you can see who I found. And now they're back. It's my shadow. When I was listening to the book, I was thinking, I never realized my shadow is always with me. That's something to love about the dark. They're always there. And when the light comes on, I can play with my shadow. Can you play with your shadow? Let's see what we can do. Let's see. In the book, they said the shadows made scary monsters. Let's all make scary monsters with our shadows. Oh, it's crawling and creepy, my shadow. Can you make a crawling and creepy shadow too? Make a happy shadow. Let's see. Let's make the shadow go in the air. Or they could go swimming on the sea. My shadow can also dance. Shadow looks so good while they're dancing. I can even play games with my shadow. Can you play games with your shadow? Let's see. We can play together. I wonder if it's dark, if my shadow will stay with me. And what happened? We're still there. Now I know what I can love about the dark. I can love my shadow. My shadow can even make a big heart. So I can hug my shadow. I can high five my shadow. I can give my shadow a big heart so that at night when it's dark, I'm full of love with me and my shadow. I wonder, a good book, so much fun. And my brain feels very excited. Sitting up there, I wonder what the science is to explain what's going on in my brain. So for this part, we'd love all the adults to listen to the science behind the brain with Miss Krista and Miss Crystal. And for any of my special little friends today, this is your time to grab your flashlight, grab some toys, and practice making some shadows. So while my special little friends are practicing playing shadows, let's hear from Miss Krista and Miss Crystal.
Hi, Krista.
Hi, Crystal. It's great to see you.
Great to see you as well. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually super excited about the storybook, Do You Love the Dark, and what the author, Maya Lawrence, did with the book. What about you?
Oh, the shadow activity was wonderful. It really helped the child understand shadows and dark and light and love and how the interconnectivity of them that just really did bring the story to life.
I agree with you. I think in the Rollins Center at the Atlanta Speech School, we like to call it interactive storybook reading. And I think,
do.
look at it.
Let's take a closer look at that.
Absolutely. And there it is.
Yeah. So interactive storybook reading. Why can't I just read a book, read the words on the page, show the picture, read the birds on the page, show the picture? Why can't that be the way I read the book?
Well, it's boring, number one. No,
Boring for me too, right?
it's boring, but you know what? Research also supports why interactive storybook reading is important too. And so we can take a look at that. And before we even take a look at that, just realizing the fact that the way in which we read books with children, the way in which we share them with our children, it really matters. It really does.
Yeah, if we want them to love books and love the stories that we're sharing with them, we have to make them fun and engaging, right? And what's so cool is that the research actually supports that.
It backs it up a little bit. And it says it here that children are more engaged with the story and the text when they're involved in the process. And stories are a great way to introduce children to new concepts, new ideas, and just help them to learn more about the world around them and the story, right? And then the stories also provide meaningful context for learning about those new words. So
right. So in Maya's book, learning about night lights and shadows and how shadow monsters are just shadow monsters. They're not actual monsters coming to get you. It really helps them understand the concepts of shadows and scared and light, as well as gives them a glimpse of their own feelings.
Yeah, and love. I love the connection to love in the story. Yep.
So how can our families bring a book to life? How do we do interactive storybook reading? Do you have any strategies or tips for that?
Of course we do. We love strategies in the Rollins Center for Language and Literacy. And the one that we want to shed light on today is the PAT strategy, P-A-T. So Krista, let's dive in. I'm so excited. Let's dive into what the PAT strategy stands for and what it's all about. Right. So right here, P, it stands for point to pictures or objects. And these are a few of our favorite books on screen right here. Clifford, I love Clifford. I love The Hungry Caterpillar. And there are a few objects here that we could use while sharing the story. And then there may be pictures even in the story that we could point to and just highlight as we're going along. That really helps the children to connect those pictures with the actual vocabulary words that we are using.
Right. So you learn through associations. Our brain is wired through association. So they learn to associate the word dark or word shadow with the picture that they're seeing, or the word caterpillar with the caterpillar that they see either in the book or the little stuffed animal that you have. They're able to generalize that and understand that it's more than just the book.
Absolutely. I love it.
So we got point. What's next?
A, this is probably one of my favorite. A, we want to act out the word, right? We can have fun. This is where you get to become a kid all over again. And this actually helps the child to stay interested in the story. So we can point, act out, explain ideas and pictures and words, change our voice tones to match that of the characters, right? Using sound effects and gestures that really helps to, again, bring that book to life.
That's right. So Spot here, he's smelling the flower. So he's sniffing the flower and you act that out. And it, again, makes it more real to them. It's not just a word. It's an action. It's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes it more enjoyable for the child, right?
Right. So what about when a book has a word that maybe your child doesn't know?
Right. And so we can use T in the PAT strategy, which is tell a child-friendly definition of that word, right? So there's different tiers of vocabulary. Tier 1 words maybe are more simple words, words that you may hear in your everyday environment or your everyday interactions. And so they are more than likely children are more than likely exposed to those words through their everyday experiences, right? And so tier 2 words, though, are a little bit more complex, Krista, right? And they help to build the critical language knowledge. And so oftentimes when we're telling those child-friendly definitions of words, we can actually pair tier 2 words with tier 1 words, right? And so we have examples of that listed here on the screen, but we definitely want to tell those child-friendly definitions of those words.
That's right. So Spot is a dog and he's also a canine. And so by scaffolding that language, you're broadening their vocabulary and giving them more context.
Absolutely.
Right.
P, point, A, act, T, tell. But guess what? Author Maya Lawrence did that in her story as well. And here's examples of what she was able to do to pad vocabulary and support comprehension. You mentioned this earlier, Krista, that nightlight, right? So we can, in this story, could just point to that nightlight. Something as simple as pointing, again, helps the child to make that meaningful connection and learn by association, as you shared before.
That's right. And you can point to the picture. You can point to a nightlight in the room. Point to all of those. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. And A, acting out being scared, right? I can act that out. I see the emotions in a child's face here in the picture, and we can act that out and explain. And sometimes, even I was going to say this earlier, some of the strategies can overlap. So you can tell that child-friendly definition of what it means to be scared or afraid. And then you can actually act it out too by the emotions that we have in our facial expressions and things of that nature. So here, just acting it out. And then again, T, telling that shadows are the dark areas that show up when the lights are turned on. I actually have a shadow right behind me of the plant.
There you go, pointing to the shadow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
So again,
and that activity where they get to make their own shadows. Again, it just drives it home. You're doing more with the story. You're bringing it to life.
Absolutely. I love it.
All right. Well, thank you, Crystal, for walking us through that. And if you want to learn more about the PAT strategy, we've got some blogs on Cox Campus, one particularly about lifting language that you can check out. And if you're wanting more ideas of what you could do to do more with stories and how to act out stories, we've got some fabulous activity bundles for you to explore as well. And all of these can be found on Cox Campus, coxcampus.org. Feel free to scan the QR code there and have fun exploring and have fun reading with your child and sharing storybooks with your child.
I love it. And what I love about Cox Campus as well, Krista, is that it's free.
That's right.
So if you're watching and you don't already have a Cox Campus account, please sign up. It is free and it's really quick to establish an account. And if you're already on Cox, we love that. And we just invite you, as Krista shared, to research more of the resources that are on Cox for you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining me, Crystal.
Thank you, Krista.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And our brains were growing too. Does your brain feel smarter? Does it feel like it's getting bigger? I think my brain grew. Does my head look bigger to you? That's pretty awesome. We can play while we read books. We can play after the book. We can talk. Love when I'm learning and having so much fun. Now, we've done a lot of great playing today, and you got to use some great listening skills as we've heard Maya read her book. But now we want to hear from you. We want to hear what your questions are. We want to hear what you're thinking. And just share with us. Miss Maya's going to join again. Hello, Miss Maya.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here.
How are you today?
I feel really happy.
We had a great time listening to your story and playing and making shadows.
I love that. I really do.
So this is our time to ask Miss Maya some great questions, and you can unmute yourself and ask away. Who's got a great question?
Hey, Miss Jen, someone sent me a question.
Perfect.
Miss Maya, the first question for you is, how did you know you wanted to write a book?
Thank you. So I knew I wanted to write a book ever since I was little. So I remember being in school, in elementary school with my friends, and for fun, I made a children's book. I took the paper and I started typing, and then I printed it out with all this white space on it. And then I started drawing all the characters and the pictures. And I knew that I loved making children's books since then. And so even as I would grow up and I was in school and I would have class projects, I would try and turn them into children's books. And so I knew very early that this was something that I loved to do. And when I got the opportunity to write Do You Love the Dark last summer, it really felt like a dream coming true.
Oh, and our next question is, did you do the pictures in the book?
So I didn't do the pictures in the book. What's very cool about writing children's books is the author creates the story and all of the words for the story. And then I give the words away to the illustrator. And that's a whole different person that I never met before. And he had his own idea of what those words would look like. And so he brought them to life, and his name is R. Gregory Christie. And he makes lots of children's books and is an artist. And so I just gave the words to him and he created this world around it.
Oh, and someone else would like to know, how did you choose the topic of the book?
So I am a person who believes in love, and I think love is a superpower that we have as humans. And so I always try to figure out, how can I spread that love for other people, and help other people find that love and focus on that love. And I think something that love helps us fight as a superpower is fear and the things that we're afraid of. And so I think something a lot of people deal with is the fear of the dark, and how can we use this thing that a lot of people are scared of, and replace that fear with love? And what are things we can love about the things that typically would scare us?
Are you going to write another book?
I am. When I came up with the idea for this book, I had already so many ideas, and it was really about deciding which one fit for the best time. And I think because last year was very scary for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. And so that felt like the right time to tell that story. But now I'm going to figure out, what is the next story?
And what was your favorite book when you were little?
That's really hard. I have to think about it. I think my favorite story, and it wasn't a book, it was a movie, but was The Wiz, because I really loved that world, and seeing especially The Wiz, because it was an adaptation of The Wizard of Oz and it was in New York City, and that's where I'm from, and seeing the world come alive in a very fantastic way.
How long did? Oh, sorry. Did somebody want to ask a question? Oh no, I think Zoom is playing tricks on us. Well, Miss
That question. I see this question in the chat of how long does it take to publish a children's book? And so this process for me, I started August of last year, and my deadline was October. So about those 3 months to write the story and figure out how I wanted, and then another 3 to 4 for the pictures to come together.
Well, and it was all worth it. So we have a wonderful story that was a fantastic read, and we appreciate you being with us so much, Miss Maya.
Oh, my connection went out, so I think, but I'm back.
There you go. Well, nope, it was perfect timing because we loved hearing your story. We loved all the games, and we super loved hearing all the answers to your questions today. So
thank you for your questions, and thank you for reading the story.
Thank you, thank you. All right, boys and girls and everyone on the call. Those of you who
Dile gracias.
Thank you.
Díselo.
Bye. Well, we will see you. Joy, did you like the story? Did you get to see Shadow? So, those of you who asked about more resources, we are going to share where you can find them, and hopefully we will see you next week, because next week we get to dance with some music, and there's even gonna be some puppets. I'm excited.
No, 4, 5, 1 de la pantalla.
All righty, Miss Yana is going to show us where we can find even more about Cox Campus.
Thanks, Miss Jen. And I really loved hearing the story today. And if you are a grown-up and you loved hearing about the story and learning more about how to help kids learn to read, you can head to our website, coxcampus.org. And at coxcampus.org, you can find lots of resources for parents, caregivers, any adult that interacts with kids, for how you can help every kid learn to read, with lots of special strategies and tools. And it takes just a minute to create your free account, and everything on Cox Campus's website is completely free. So you can join us at coxcampus.org, and we're popping the link in our chat box. And I hope if you're a grown-up, you go to our website and create an account and make use of the hundreds of resources we have so you can help kids learn to read. Thank you so much for being with us today. We loved having you. And we will see you on Tuesday for Rhyming with Nursery Rhymes. And we're going to have so much fun together.